Morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me now.
Yeah, yes,
Yes, thanks, Brahminda. Thanks for confirming. I'll just share my screen. Hope you can see that as well.
yes.
Great. Well, morning, everyone. Thanks for joining Web Application Security Engineer demo session. Okay. Myself, Vishwanath. You can call me Vishwa. I'm your trainer. For the next 1.5 hour, I'll walk you through the course content. What is it expected from this course? Okay. And your present skill levels. Okay, and we'll walk you through one or two vulnerability demo sessions followed by Q&A questions. So in between, if you have any questions, please try to jump in between, try to interrupt me. Don't wait for the end of the session. Okay, wherever you feel you are not following or you need some more clarity, feel free to jump in. Okay, and ask the questions. Okay, right. I just said, who am I? Okay, I'm your trainer. You can call me Vishwa. Okay, I'm having 15 plus years of experience into information security, wherein I have performed different roles. At the start of the career, I have performed assessments on web applications and slowly migrated towards assessing the applications on mobile applications and network secure code reviews. And now I'm working for one of the big four audit firms as a security architect. Okay, and below are few of the credentials have been achieved over a period of the time. Okay, few of the top-notch certifications in the field of information security, like CISSP, CISA, CDPSC, and cloud-related certificates I hold. Couple of them from AWS, Azure, ISO, and recently I have cleared CCSK and one more Azure certification from infrastructure as well. So these are my credentials. Okay, have been achieved over a period of time. Okay. Now, I believe you might have done some research before joining this course about web application security testing. So, generally, what is your understanding about web application security testing? Okay. Why it is required? Just a quick 1 minute brief from your side. So, let me tell you, these sessions are going to be very interactive. It's not a one way session. If you feel that Vishwa is going to speak, I am going to listen, simply keeping on mute. That's not going to happen. I'll try to pull your legs in between wherever required. So, just a 1 minute brief. Anyone?
Yeah, yeah. Hi, this is Brahminder. Actually, we joined this course for, cyber security professional. Actually, I'm trying to switch my career from
Hmm.
testing to cyber security. Right now, I'm working as a test lead. I want to transform my career into cyber security. Just I'm exploring different technologies like
Great.
Gen AI, cyber security, machine learning, data
Yeah.
science. So
Mhm.
yeah, basically I explored few things about the cyber security, not about what is secure, like different tools like CyberArk, different tools
Okay.
about this cyber security. Yeah, I am yet to learn about this technology
Okay.
completely. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay, Brahminder. So, since you are already established into a testing field, so what made you
yeah.
to think of shifting your career now?
Yeah, right now because right now testing is getting extinct. Actually, the test leads and all because of this AI and all that. AI is taking away this test lead roles, and the developers are doing the testing now. So the testing is getting irrelevant day by day. It's not out of the game, but it's getting slowly reduced.
So,
So
most of
I'm
the
looking to
yes,
switch my
most of the
career.
regular. Okay, got it. Most of the regular testing activities are getting replaced by the automated AI tools.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
both automation testing and manual, like Selenium and all, they are also getting extinct day by day.
exactly. And even the developers are getting smarter and they have the
Yeah,
AI agents installed in their IDE Eclipse wherein they can do most of the tough stuff.
Yeah, correct.
Great. So, do you guys think, okay, since as per what Brahminder said, so he's already into testing and he feels like he realized that these kind of regular roles are going to be automated and which are most of them are already automated. So what do you guys think that will AI takes the position of security testing lead positions as well? Will the AI replace a security engineer position? What do you guys think?
Yeah, up to certain extent, it can, but still security engineer is needed because a small loophole or small mistake can cause a huge impact, and companies can go bankrupt also. So the engineer is needed for cyber security.
Definitely. So irrespective of whatever the technology comes, okay. So I've started my career in 2008. From then, so many technologies has come into the picture. Okay, but nothing, nothing has impacted the role of a cybersecurity engineer, a security professional. Okay, even if there is a tool which can automate certain part, certain extent of the security test engineer, and that tool, even that tool has to be analyzed or security tested by a security test engineer. So upon thorough analysis and testing done by the security test engineer only, that tool will go into the production. Okay, that's the importance. That's the importance of security testing, cyber security or information security testing, whatever you call. People use the random names as per their knowledge levels and the industry they are working. Okay, right. So there's a importance of security testing. So whatever the market position it is, so even the very hard 2000 year recession and the recent COVID recession also did not impacted the positions of cybersecurity engineers. So that's the beauty of cybersecurity. Okay, and to learn the cybersecurity, web application security is the most important and the very initial steps. Okay, so you need to start with web application security testing and slowly you have to migrate with other security testing phases. And within cyber we call the term cyber. Okay, what is cyber actually? What is cyber? Nothing related to security, but what is cyber? General word.
It's like a software,
Hmm. Of course, of
software,
course.
right?
Okay, so to simplify, anything that is connected to the internet falls under the cyber purview. So any device that you're connected to the internet falls under the purview of the cyber. That's called the cyber. Okay. Now, so as part of this session, I mean this training course, out of using all my expertise over the period of the time, so I have simplified the training topics so that it is very easy to understand for everyone. Even a layman can understand. You need not to have any basic knowledge or prior experience, okay, about security testing. Okay, so we have simplified this course so that everyone can understand it without any what you call without any prior efforts of yours. Okay, so to start with, so we have just started with a simple introduction of secure testing and its importance. Just now I spoke what is the importance, taking the example of the Brahminder, he rightly pitched in at the point. Okay, and we'll try to understand. So you need to perform a web application secure testing. The very basic thing is we need to understand the application architecture at a very high level, not at the design level, but at a very high level, like what is a web server, what is an application server, what is a database server, what is an email server, what are the different technologies involved, what are the components at a very high level. We'll walk you through this, and then we'll come into the some of the basic concepts of security testing. Now there is something called CIA triad. This is called as confidentiality, integrity, and availability. C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for availability. Okay, whatever the cyber hacks happening across the globe, okay, so what is the main motto of that particular hacking activity? What do you think the motto behind a hacker hacking a particular website or hacking a particular DB server or the or whatever it is? So what will be the main motto of that particular hacker?
Yeah, to demand the ransom from the victim,
Yes.
money,
Okay. Okay.
and
That's one. That's one segment.
information theft. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Here, hackers are not hacking something to directly steal the money. They are trying to steal something. Okay, something which is very important for the organization, so that they can perform a ransom. Even they can be state-sponsored hackers as well to steal the sensitive information of the other government. Okay, let's say there are two countries. Okay, one country is sponsoring the hackers to hack the database servers of the other country so that they can steal some information. Okay, now software companies are running on the information. So, what is more important for the organizations to run? Okay, it's just the information. Okay, so now these hackers are behind that particular information. Okay, so the motto could be to steal some confidential information. Okay, the motto could be to make some changes to the existing database or deleting the database. Okay, any changes, okay, it's nothing but the integrity. Any deletion, let's say there is a record, you have been logged in, you have been registering yourself to the gmail.com. Okay, you opened an account, somehow their DB servers got hacked, and there I have changed your password. Or what I will do, I'll just delete your account from there itself. So were you able to log into that again? Were you able to log into that again if I delete your account from the master database?
No.
That's called the availability. You lost the availability. Okay, like that. The whatever the incident that is happening, the breach that is happening, the motto could be, we can correlate that motto with respect to confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is called CIA triad. Okay, and then we'll start with basic understanding about the authentication authorization, the very basic functionality, whatever the application we try to authenticate ourselves. Okay, and based on the rules, we'll have that particular authorization rules and the authentication methods. And then we start understanding about the HTTP methods. What are the different HTTP methods? Okay, so whenever we are trying to interact with any web application, okay, so at the time of the login, it will use some method. They are called get method, put method, post method, delete method, insert method. There will be different methods. So what are all the different methods? Okay, like that we'll try to understand some of the basic things. Okay, and then slowly we'll pitch in into some of the core concepts, some of the core concepts of security. Okay, so whenever you are logging to a web application, so let's say whenever you're trying to access any application, so within the browser, so what do you enter? What do you enter? You will provide the URL, right, of that particular application.
That's correct. The address and the port
Yes,
probably.
yes. Okay, so let's say whatever it is, I've taken an example of this. Okay, now do you feel this is secure or insecure? Do you feel by looking at this particular URL, so what kind of trust you will get? Whether this is a secure thing or insecure thing, do I need to log in? Do I need to enter my credentials here or not? Let's say, let me do like this. Let me remove this. Now this is the URL. This is the URL. Okay. Now, do you think this is secure?
No.
So why?
HTTPS is secure.
HTTP?
Yes, is secure.
Yes. If it is HTTPS, it gives us a sense of confidence to interact with that application. Okay. At least the basic level security is here, HTTPS. So that S is going to protect the information what I am entering into the application. Okay. What is that particular S? Where does that S is coming from? Okay. What is making that S secure? Okay. That's called, that is covered as part of cryptography. Okay, it's a family, and within the cryptography we have encryption, encoding, hashing, different techniques. Okay, and also these encryption, encoding, hashing, we are going to correlate this encryption, encoding, hashing again with CIA, confidential, integrity, and availability. So what technique we have to use to protect the confidentiality? Is it encrypting? Is it encoding? Is it hashing? Okay, slowly we'll start with the basics. We'll enter into the advanced concepts, and we try to correlate the concepts what you have learned in the basics in our advanced concepts. Okay, so like that, and within cryptography, we have symmetric algorithm, asymmetric algorithm, and then some of the standards. Okay, input validation, output encoding, and within input validation, we have different things. Okay, so input validation is nothing but we'll try to correlate this with our day-to-day, in our day-to-day life cycle. What are the regular examples that we come across? We try to correlate these our topics with our day-to-day activities so that it will be easy for everyone to understand. So let's say you are residing within a community, okay, within a gated community. Okay, now you are allowing someone. So let's say someone came to the security guard and said that, uh, dear security, I'm here to visit Vishwa in so and so flat. Okay, will you directly allow that person into your flat? Will you directly allow the security guard directly allows a visitor into your flat, or does he do any due diligence?
Pro- Yeah, probably if if they have a phone, he will call and verify with the family who is visiting.
Yes, if there is a phone, they can call to the landline or the mobile number of the particular person and confirm this is someone here to meet you. Do you want me to allow or not? Okay. If not, there will be certain applications. So like in India, we are having a MyGate. Okay, one such application where the security guard will enter the details of the visitor. We'll get the request. We need to approve that. Okay, like that, he's performing the due diligence, is validating the person. This is the right person. This is the wrong person, and he's here to meet this particular flat owner. Okay, like that within the application, we are not supposed to enter anything. Okay, there are there is a certain criteria. You're logging into your let's say you're logging into any of the application. Generally, what it will ask? It will ask for user ID. It will ask for an email or the mobile number, right? So let's say it is asking for the email. So how the email will look like? It's a mix of alphabets, numbers, uppercase characters, okay? And probably if you are using mail ID, there has to be one special character that is @gmail.com. Okay. Now let's say within my email, rather than using @, if I use ampersand, will it allow?
No.
Okay, there's a basic input validation. What to expect at certain position. Okay, so if it is a simply name field, it can be alphabets, characters, and based on the requirement of the application team or the vendor, they can allow some special character. Okay, so in case of the Gmail, it's only at the rate, or any other email ID, it's an at the rate. In case of the mobile numbers, we don't require any alphabets, right? It's only the numeric character and the number of digits. They will limit the number of digits. Okay, in case of India, it's at the 10. Okay, if they need to add the country code, it's another two digits, and there will be a special character plus 91 plus 1, something like that. Okay, so that's called input validation. So application will perform or has to perform certain input validations, okay, and output encoding, and within input validation what kind of validations we need to perform. So everything we'll learn in details from validation point of the thing, and then we'll touch base the software development life cycle, one of the oldest life cycle that has been used, okay, earlier. Now they are not using, but we need to understand the concepts, what is software development life cycle, and we'll try to match this with secure software development life cycle, and we'll try to understand a threat modeling, there is a concepts, okay, and then the actual process or the methodology, secure testing process or the methodology. Let's say you have joined an organization, okay, so when they provide you, when they ask you to perform a secure testing on a web application, it's not simply you directly go and perform with some special characters. It's not like that. There will be a process. Okay, there will be a process. What is the first step? What is the second step? What is the start step? Okay, in the login page, what is that we have to do? In the profile page, what is that we have to do? There is a form page. What is that we have to do? There is a process. So that we'll discuss as part of. So, okay, as part of this secure testing process and the methodology, and this methodology is same across the globe. Okay, wherever you go, whatever the organization's interview you attend, the process will remain the same, there will be no change. Okay, and then here we are discussing about cryptography by looking at HTTPS. Okay, S is secure. Okay, how does S is securing, that is securing using this cryptography, and here again we'll try to understand that particular S is called SSL handshaking process. How exactly is it gonna work? In the URL I have given http at google.gmail.com and https at gmail.com. When I move when the minute I give https, immediately how it is securing, what kind of interaction is happening between the client and the server, what kind of information is getting exchanged, what kind of key information and the encryption level of information is getting exchanged, everything we are going to discuss, and whatever we discuss will be from interview point of view. Whatever the topic, all the topics are important, and all the topics will discuss from interview point of view. Okay, in interview, what's that you can expect from this? Okay, how they can ask you, how the interviewer can ask you the question, how they can trick you this by asking the same question again and again. So like that we'll discuss. And within SSL we have SSL TLS versions, and then we discuss about the major, I mean, the important thing, that is OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. Okay, now if I want to test a web application and verify this secure, okay, so if you go and search and perform a simple Google search about security testing vulnerabilities, you will come to see hell lot of vulnerabilities. But what is important for us to verify this OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities? This is the standard. This is the standard. Organizations will ask you to perform the assessment using this top 10 vulnerabilities. Nothing but you have to verify whether application is vulnerable to any of these top 10 vulnerabilities. Okay, but then you can ask me, Vishwa, you said there are hell lot number of vulnerabilities, but are these top 10 sufficient? Okay, these top 10 are very high level, but we'll discuss this top 10. I've increased the granularity of these vulnerabilities. I've divided the vulnerabilities into subtasks. Okay, I've divided the vulnerability into subtasks. Like you see, we have discussed about input validation here. Okay, again, where? Okay, no, no, no. We have discussed about authentication and authorization, right? Somewhere. The basic concept, as part of the basic concepts, we have authentication and authorization. Okay, and within authentication, what are the different vulnerabilities are there? So within authorization, what are the different vulnerabilities are there? Okay, like that, I've divided the vulnerabilities into subtask so that we'll cover everything. The smaller portion, larger than this, discussing the larger portion of the vulnerability, we will divide that and we'll learn them into bits and pieces. Okay, so that it will be very easy to understand, and moreover you will remember it for a longer period of the time, so rather creating a confusion in your minds. Okay, but top 10 vulnerabilities are very much important. Okay, because these will cover most of your interview questions. Okay, and so different vulnerabilities, okay, we have covered, and then we'll talk something about can we get, okay, how we are going to perform this. Okay, do I need to do this manually? Will I get any support from the organization in terms of any tools? Okay, there are certain tools. We'll discuss in detail about the available tools that can be used. Okay, but we have to learn, we have to learn how to find out vulnerabilities without using tools. The manual, okay, the manual pen testing activity. If you master that manual pen testing activity, you can survive anywhere, because tools, anyone can use a tool, even a fresher. If you tell them, okay, this is the step number one where you need to provide the URL, this is the step number two where you need to provide the username and the password, and step three, step four, these are the guidelines to run a particular tool. Okay, that anyone can use that, even a fresher can do that. So how we are going to differentiate yourself from most of the freshers in the market? Okay, by learning manual pen testing, that is what we are going to do. And moreover, there are so many vulnerabilities I have listed. Okay, manually only three or four vulnerabilities we have to master, and most of the vulnerabilities are concept oriented. Just by looking at the request and the response, we can confirm that is vulnerable or not. Only three or four vulnerabilities like SQL injection, XSS, CSRF, we will discuss everything in detail. I'm not naming those vulnerabilities because most of you might be listening them for the first time, and that will create some sort of confusion, okay, among yourself. Okay, and we'll learn about the scanners and what results we'll get from the scanners. Okay, and how are we gonna, you found some you found some issues, okay, some vulnerabilities. How we are going to rate those vulnerabilities? Are they critical? Are they high severity, medium severity, low severity? We'll understand that. Okay, and some of the tools we'll cover, and followed by we'll touch base network security testing, because web application security testing alone is not sufficient to crack the interview. Okay, so within the application security testing, we have web application, mobile application, networks, web services, code review. Covering everything is also not possible. Okay, so that is the reason why we are covering only three important topics, three important security testing modules, that is web application security testing, network security testing, and web services security testing. So these are the three modules we are going to cover in the next 8 to 10 sessions, 8 to 10 weekends, sorry. So 8 to 10 weekends, nothing but 18 to 20 sessions every day, every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It will be 2 hours, 2 hours per session. Okay, so any questions so far?
So this course is basically for a software engineer, or like how do you lay a foundation for this?
Yes. So exactly, basically to start with, this course is mostly for not the software engineer, we call it as security engineer from cyber point of view. Okay, application security engineer or cyber security engineer. Okay, but with this course, what I've done is if you try to follow whatever the concepts I'm telling daily, regularly, and another 1 or 2 hours of your efforts, you can master a real-time expertise that is equal to a person who is already working in the industry for the almost 4 to 5 years. So I can take you to that level. Okay. And moreover, this not only for a security engineer job. Now let's say uh, few of you might have already been into I mean in already a job in some other, I mean in some other roles, and you want to shift the roles. Okay. Let's say you need to shift from your regular activity to a lead role in the cyber security. Okay, are you are already in a cyber in a different domain and you want to have an overall view of what application security is all about. Okay, and if you're already into some other role, like there is different roles like vulnerability management roles within the cyber, there will be different roles like vulnerability management roles as well. Okay, it will give you an high level idea, whereas you go and speak yourself to the management. Okay, on cyber on application security testing.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. So any other questions? Okay. So I'll quickly give you a demo of one of the vulnerability. And moreover, I forgot to explain. There are different vulnerabilities. How are we going to learn those vulnerabilities? How are we going to learn those vulnerabilities? So every vulnerability will be learned in such a way. Okay, let's say there is a vulnerability. Okay, I'm not naming anything. I'm saying just vulnerability A. So in order to learn a vulnerability, not only the vulnerability, in order to learn any new topic or new thing, so we need to ask yourself these WH questions. Okay, so we'll discuss what is this particular vulnerability, why is this happening, where I can find this vulnerability within the application, okay, and how this can be fixed. Okay, every vulnerability will try to understand the what is this particular vulnerability. There is a particular definition of the particular vulnerability, and the definition itself speaks, what is this and what went wrong. Okay, and when you know what went wrong, okay, you can suggest what to fix. How to fix, you can suggest here. And why is this particular vulnerability? Why it is happening? Is this a lack of proper input validation? Is it lack of proper authorization controls or authentication controls? Is this lack of session management controls? Why is this happening? Okay, we'll discuss that. And okay, I know the concept. I've read the definition. I know why it is happening. I know how to suggest a fix, but where? Manually, where I can check this? The location. So within the application, where I can go and I can check for this particular vulnerability, the definition. So we'll try to ask ourselves these WH questions. So we'll try to ask ourselves these particular WH questions. We'll have a slide as well. Okay. So let me quickly pull out a vulnerability so that we'll get an idea. So like this, we'll ask ourselves, what is this particular vulnerability? If the vulnerability has any types of subtypes, we'll discuss that. And the impact, what happens? Okay, what happens? Where to test? and the countermeasures is called how to test. Okay, so we'll ask ourselves these WH questions and we'll learn so that it will be very easy and comfortable to understand. Okay, now I'll give you an example of particular vulnerability. Okay, this is not going to be in detail. The in detail details of this vulnerability will be discussed when we start the actual session. But in the interest of the time, at a very high level, I'll give you a demo of a particular vulnerability. So there is a vulnerability called SQL injection. Okay, this is top one of the top 10 vulnerabilities. I've started my career in 2005. Okay, there is something called OWASP top 10, a standard. Okay, so every 3 years or the 4 years, there will be a panel. Okay, this is an NGO kind of the thing. They do market survey, market research on the kind of the breaches that has happened in the last 3 years, 4 years, and try to update the list, the top 10 list, top 10 vulnerability list. There might be some addition, some deletion of the vulnerabilities, but SQL injection in one such vulnerability which is there from 2005. Okay, so I started my career in 2008. At that time, yeah, from 2008, I'm seeing this particular vulnerability. Okay, so that is the importance of this particular vulnerability. I'll just give you at a high level demo of this particular vulnerability. Now let's say this is demo.textfire.net. This is a web application explicitly designed for testing purpose, for our practice purpose only. Now I just want to log into the application. What do I need? What do I need?
You need a
What do I need to
username.
log in? Sorry,
You need a username and password.
I need a user and password using admin. Okay, I'm able to log in. Okay. Now, what exactly happened when I entered my credentials? What exactly happened when I entered my credentials?
So when you enter the credentials, there should be something in the background which
Mhm.
can validate whether the credentials are like good state.
Exactly. So when you enter your credentials, okay, your request will be passed to the web server or the application server, and the application server, will the application server do this logic? No. Okay, and the application server will forward this request to the database server, and within the database is where the username and the passwords will be available. First, it will verify the username is admin. It will check the database user list if there is admin or not. If admin is there, okay, username is valid. And then what is the corresponding password of that admin? Is it admin or admin123? So it's admin, a user has given admin. Okay, credentials are valid, and then ultimately you are landing up here. Okay, now how is this getting verified? So database won't understand the language I'm speaking, right? Okay, so if you need to interact with the database, there is something called SQL queries. It will run certain query. So how exactly it will look like, I'll show you. The moment this is the basic command, basic SQL query. Select star from users where, okay, username is equal to request dot username, okay, and password is equal to request dot password.
Uh,
Okay, so this is a basic SQL query that will run whenever you try to provide the credentials. Okay, and the moment you provide the credentials, it will change something like this. What is the request dot username? Admin, and the password is admin. Okay, and this query will get executed. It will verify the username and the password, and then you are landing at this home page, hello admin home page. Now let's assume I don't know the credentials. Let's assume I don't know the credentials. Is there any way Is there any way I can bypass this authentication? Is there any way I can bypass this authentication? Yes, there is one vulnerability that is called SQL injection. Okay, using SQL injection, we can bypass by using very simple malicious payload. We'll use this. Sorry. By using this simple payload, single quote or one is equal to one hyphen hyphen, there is a possibility. I'm not saying all the applications are vulnerable to bypass, but there is a possibility of bypassing the authentication. Okay. Now let's see how it works. I've given this and I've given some gibberish password, random password, and the password. Okay. And still you are able to log in as an admin user. Now, what is the magic happened here? So without knowing the username and the password, you are able to log into the application, and the two, we are getting an admin access. We are getting an admin access, nothing but high privilege user role access. So what exactly happened here? So that seems to be like a magic, but we need to understand the logic behind this. Okay. Now let's say now this query will become something like this. Within the admin, I don't know the password. The particular payload what I have given will be embedded here in the query. Okay. And some gibberish password. Okay. Now what is this? You can see this, right? Is it clearly visible or do you want me to zoom in the text?
For me, it is visible. I'm good with it.
Okay, great. Right. Now, immediately the query has changed something like this, and the request.username is single quote or one is equal to one hyphen hyphen. So it works on the logic. Do you recall in our school age we have learned something like true or false is equal to true, true or true is equal to true. What is false or true is equal to? False or true is equal to false or true. It's an or statements. Do you recall? True and false or false is equal to false. Okay. So it will work if any of the statement is true, then the particular condition will become true. Okay, it will work like that. Now what exactly happening is when we give this particular single quote or one is quote on hyphen hyphen, so these are the opening and closing brackets. Okay, these are the opening and the closing brackets. And what is single quote actually? What is single quote actually? Is called string concatenator. String concatenator and hyphen hyphen are called string terminator. Terminator, or developers call it as commenting. They used to comment using this hyphen hyphen characters. Now our payload concatenated here, and there is a single quote open and single quote close. There is nothing in between. There is nothing in between, and this is considered as, let's consider this as null. Or is one is equal to one true or false? Is one is equal to one true or false? One is equal to one
True,
only, right?
true, yeah.
True. Okay. Now this works like null is considered as false. Sorry. This null is considered as false, or this true is true. Now anything after this, we have this hyphen hyphen. Anything after this is concatenated or commented. Okay. Now for this statement, the result has to be, for this particular condition, the result has to be false or true is equal to true. Understood? Got it, or am I confusing you at the very early stages of training.
Yeah, understood. Good.
Okay, now it's a true statement. Now select star from user where username is equal to true and the rest of the command got commented, not executed. Okay, so for any query there is a true record. If it is a true, okay, then if it is a then that's nothing but it's successfully executing the query. For the true record, the database has to authenticate the user, give some results. If the query is true, it has to provide some results. But since that this is executing at the user table at the login page, okay, we are tricking the query. We are tricking this particular SQL query to run something which ends up in a true statement, and unfortunately it will pick up the first record of the database, and the user is able to log in as an admin user. Okay, the first record of the database an admin, and eventually we are ending up logging as an admin user. So that's the logic behind the magic of providing single quote or one is equal to one hyphen hyphen. By using this particular single quote or one is equal to hyphen hyphen is called boolean statement. We call it as boolean statement. So using that boolean statement, we are able to trick the query and gain access to admin. Okay, now that's the first record. One is equal to, and I'm saying first record. What if I give two is equal to two? Will I get the second record? Will I get the second record? What do you guys say? Will I get the second record if I give two is equal to two?
No.
Actually, no. It's only whatever it is. It is one is equal to one, two is equal to two, A is equal to A, B is equal to B. Whatever it is, it has to be a true statement. Only if we give A is equal to B or one is equal to two, then both the statements are wrong. Then both the statements are wrong, and you will not retrieve any record. So among all the vulnerabilities, this only the vulnerability SQL injection has got a lot of logic we need to understand. Rest of the vulnerabilities are very straightforward. But when we touch base the SQL injection vulnerability, we'll discuss in very detail. We'll try to understand the problem statement, the definition first, okay, and we'll come to here. Then you will understand it very easily. So, just like we need to provide any demo, I've just take this example so that you can see some magic and some logic from here. Okay, so but then otherwise it's a very easy vulnerability if you understand the basic concepts. Now, okay, okay, this is a vulnerability, this is happening, but where I need to test this vulnerability? Where I need to test this vulnerability? Is it only in the login page? No, it is in all the places where application is interacting with the database. See, the name of the vulnerability is SQL injection, SQL injection, structured query language injection. So, so where the SQL queries will run, or will run, it will run only at the database level. So, within the application, wherever there is a function that is interacting with the database, that is a location where you can simply go and test for this particular vulnerability. That's called SQL injection. Now, what are some of the locations? Tell me within the application, what are some of the locations that interacts with the database? What are some of the locations other than login page? Let's take an example of Amazon e-commerce application. You are shopping. When you're searching for something, from where the records will be coming? Is it from the database server or it is from the application server?
Yeah, database.
Okay. There is a profile page. When you're trying to change your last name, first name, and hitting on the save button. So where they are going to store?
Yeah, same
Database server.
database.
So like that, we need to remember. Okay. So, okay. Vishwa, do I need to do this manually? Can we get any tool assistance from the organizations? Yes, of course. There are certain tools. Okay, one such tool with respect to this particular vulnerability, SQL injection, SQL map. Okay, so I'll walk you through that as well. Okay, so we have this particular tool. Hmm, my keyboard is not responding. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what is this tool where we can download this particular tool. So this tool runs with Python. So we need to make use of Python. And within this, we have skllmap.py. Okay. And hyphen U stands for the URL. Okay. How I'm just showing how to run this particular tool, and I'll walk you through the results of this particular tool. Now, this tool can help you find the SQL vulnerabilities. Okay. But for that, we need to provide the URL. We need to provide the URL. Okay, minus u is the parameter for URL. Now, similar to this, there will be one more vulnerability, text to PHP. It's been quite some time. Okay. Okay. So I know there is, I'm directly navigating to the place. I know there is a vulnerability over here. Okay, I'm just navigating to that place directly. Now copy this particular URL. Simply paste it here. Okay. Mm, yeah, give me this. So it will say whether this particular location is vulnerable or not. So you see it is saying that this particular parameter, okay, is vulnerable. Where the particular parameter is vulnerable, payload is artist is equal to 1. So within the URL we have this called the artist is equal to 1 location, and it is saying it is vulnerable to boolean based blind injection. So within SQL injection we have error based, non-error based, okay, and time-based SQL injection. Okay, this is something called time-based or blind SQL injection. Okay, and it is also vulnerable for time-based blind SQL injection. So when we get into the course, we'll try to learn what is this, what are these types, and how to verify that manually as well. Okay, so manually also we can do this, but what is the advantage of this particular tool? What else we can find it? Okay, now I know I'm giving some special characters, and it is getting executed in the database server. So can we retrieve any sensitive information from the database server? Yes, that can be done using this particular tool. Now you see, I'll try to retrieve the database names hyphen dbs. Okay, the same skllmap.py minus u URL http and the URL I have given and hyphen dbs. It will fetch the database names. You see, there are two databases, and within databases we can further dig this to find out. So within this particular available database AccuArt, okay, one database is ACUART and one is information underscore schema. So what the database will contain? Database will contain the records in the form of the tables, and the tables will contain the rows and the columns, the field names. Okay, we can further query this. We can further query this to retrieve that particular sensitive information. Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you. Since that we are already here, I'll show you. Now, what is our database name? Database name is ACUART, and within database we need to find out the. And now I'm querying. I'm saying to this particular tool, buddy. there is a database, the name is AccuArt. Can you just retrieve the tables in this particular AccuArt? For that, the command is ---- tables. Now you see there are 8 tables within this particular database AccuArt. Okay, I know the tables. Can I further? There is a user table. Can I further query this? So within the table, what we have? We'll have columns. Okay. Now, since I know the table name, the query will change to -t. It's a table, and the table name is users, and I need to retrieve the columns, --- columns. Okay, and within the columns, we have these are the column names. So like this, even we can query the username, we can query the data password. Okay, let's assume this is a real application. Let's assume this is a real application. Okay, then this kind of information is very massive. Okay, we are almost not only interacting with their database directly, but we are able to retrieve the sensitive information from their databases. Okay, it's like the confidentiality is breached. Now I can delete this particular records using drop table name commands, SQL queries. The availability is breached. I can tamper some information, the integrity is breached. So that is the beauty of SQL injection vulnerabilities. That is the reason why it's been part of the open web application security projects, OASP top 10 vulnerabilities since ages. Okay, so that's about. I just want to thought of showing you this particular tool as well. But then we need to learn all these steps. We need to learn all these steps without using tools. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you in our regular sessions. Without making use of the tools, how can we query the database further to retrieve some sensitive information? We'll work on that as well. We'll learn both the things manually and making use of automated tools. Okay. So that's it from my side. If you have any questions, yeah,
Hi. Do we need to know any programming for this job, cyber security job?
no, Brahminder. Actually, no. As I said earlier, within the application security testing, we have web application, mobile application, networks, web services. Secure code review is one among that. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, but then that is not mandatory because organizations will not expect a single individual to perform all the activities.
Okay.
Okay, there will be separate people performing secure code review. If you know any of the technology, that is well and good, but it's not mandatory because I don't know any technology. If you ask me to print my name also, I can't write the print command.
Okay.
Okay, it's not a mandatory thing. And moreover, if you're already at a team lead or managerial level, okay, so you have to use this course uh, to describe your expertise.
Okay.
Okay, organizations at certain level they won't ask you to go and perform a pen test activity. So they won't want a senior person to be a individual contributor. So mostly you will be in RFP calls and proof of concept calls. Okay, dealing with the clients.
Okay.
So any other questions? We have Shiva, Arya. So what is that you are expecting? Do you have any specific expectations from this course?
Yeah, I thought cybersecurity professional means I thought it's not only about testing, it's also implementing the all the security policies and all from development perspective as well. But it covers only testing, right?
No, implementing from development point of view, we are not the developers. We suggest them, okay, this particular piece of the code went wrong, and this how you need to fix that. Okay, so let's say what we'll suggest. You are implementing the input validation, but those are not implemented properly, they are happening at the client side. The validations has to happen at the server side. So we don't provide any code level guidance for the developers.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the code fixes can be done by developers, but
Mhm.
implementing a security protocols or security automated things, those things can't we do as a cybersecurity professional?
No, yes, of course, you need to implement a protocol. You need to know which protocol is safe, right? First thing,
Yeah.
which protocol is safe. Let's say the simple HTTP methods is there. HTTP protocols are there. Hypertext transfer protocol. There we have methods: get method, post method, put method. Okay. Why are we only using the post method? Why can't we use the put method? So both can be used to insert something as a record. But why are we using the post method? So we need to know that. Okay. But in order to suggest any implementations, okay, at the enterprise levels also, we need to understand the basic concepts first. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's
Thank
what's your current role, Shiva?
you. Yeah, I'm also a test lead now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So any specific requirement that your organization is looking for?
No, no, this is just to add on as a.
I
I
don't
just want to learn a new thing. That's it.
Yes, yes. Okay. Great. Well, any other questions from career point of view, like you are in a testing and shifting to planning to shift, you are in another role and planning to shift. So, career opportunities, if you have anything, you can ask me.
So, in the job market, so whatever the cybersecurity professional role, it's all about security testing. That's it, right? So,
Yes, sure. Sure. It's like that. Let me explain you.
okay,
At the start of the career, you are an individual contributor. You'll perform the assessment. You are lead. You being a lead, you need not to be an individual contributor. I mean, you need not to be an individual contributor. You'll assign some task. But as a lead, what's your role? You will speaking to your clients, taking the inputs, implementing that. The similarly, as a security testing, at the initial stages, you start your career with as an individual IC testing this particular vulnerabilities. As you grow up, you speak security to your management. You speak security to your clients to get the projects. Okay, you speak security to your CISO or Chief Information Security Officers on the implementation of the policies. Okay, and at certain point of time, you will be an security architect. Okay, rather than testing for a vulnerabilities here. Okay, you will grow as an architect where an application designs when an organization trying to build a new application, they will come out with an architecture design, the blueprint. Okay, so with all the expertise, by looking at the blueprint of the particular architecture, you will be in a position to say, okay, these are the entry points, these are the exit points, we are the users of the we have the users across different globes, so we have our server hosted in a different region. Okay, entries exits are there, how the connection is getting established, what are the different services we are integrating with. Okay, do you have any mail server, do you have any other servers? Okay, are we encrypting this particular channel? If encrypting, what level of encryption mechanism we are using? How are we storing this particular piece of the information? So you will grow to that level again.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
And do we cover the, let's say, if we need to send a data file to a vendor,
Mhm.
so we use different kinds of methods, right? As SFTP, or sometimes the vendors will give the link and we have to click and get into their website and all. So,
That is like a part of the DLP, data loss prevention. So generally within cyber is very scoped at a very big level actually. Within cyber, there will be many teams. There will be identity and access management. There will be data loss prevention tools. There will be global risk and compliance tools, and there will be our application security team. Okay, and there will be the SOC team. okay, which will analyze the traffic inflows and outflows, the logs. Okay, so whatever the part you are saying now, the sending a file by clicking on the particular link, uploading the link. Okay, so that will be triggered as part of the DLP, data loss preventions. So every organizations will have the DLP. So as part of the DLP, they will install some endpoint devices in our desk and at the server levels as the gateway levels as well. Let's say there is one such called Netscope. Okay. So the moment you click on the link or upload the link, that link has to be whitelisted kind of the link. And even if you are uploading, it will trigger. Okay. As part of the DLP rules, data loss prevention rules. Okay.
Okay.
So from network level, we will speak about the ports and the protocols. Okay. So we are uploading something that will be part of a particular protocol. Okay, that will have a port number. So from network level we'll discuss that, we'll understand that, and network security related vulnerabilities we'll discuss. But then if you ask me the implementation of that particular thing, okay, the implementation of the particular thing, it is based on the business justification from the vendor and how we are implementing and what kind of controls we have apart from the network controls we say. So rather than FTP, we have to make use of SFTP. We are verifying that as part of the network security. Okay, so here what you call, so if you look at here, we'll talk about the different ports and the different protocols. As part of that, different ports and different protocols will discuss. There will be 65,535 TCP ports and 65,535 UDP ports. It's not possible for us to remember. We'll only discuss few ports. Like you say, what is an SMTP port, what is an FTP port, SFTP port, HTTP port, HTTP post. So 10 to 12 port numbers are there. We'll try to discuss that and the vulnerabilities is with respect to that particular ports. Okay. Now, with your example, if you are saying we need to upload something, file transfer protocol. So as part of the network scanning, we'll verify whether FTP is enabled or not. If FTP is enabled, we'll flag it as a vulnerability because FTP is not secure, and we'll suggest them to make use of SFTP, secure file transfer protocol. So that will be done.
Okay.
Okay. So is this what you're looking for, or you have
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else? Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Good.
Sure.
That is covered as part of the network security. But implementation of the guardrails are nothing but security controls at the enterprise level. Okay, let's say if you are trying to send something suspicious from your mailbox to your Outlook to your personal email. Okay, that also happen over a particular port and protocol. But there's a job of the DLP team that will trigger. The tools will trigger that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is application security testing is a starting point to get into the cyber security. Okay, so be it a DLP, be it an IAM, be it a SOC, they work on the tools. Their dependency is on the tools. Okay, they will work the tools. IAM team, what they will do, identity and access management team. So if you're joining an organization, they'll provide you the laptop, they will add you to their security groups, and IAM team will add you to they add you to a group so that you will get access to the basic things within the organization, the HR portal, the admin portal, or whatever the internal portals. So they will take care of that by using the adding you to that particular security group. That is an identity and access management team. So there will be a different team within the cyber, and we are one among that.
Okay.
Okay. Great. If you have any questions, we can continue, or else we can drop for today.
Yeah, thank you.
You said the sessions are like Saturday and Saturday
Sunday.
and Sunday, right?
Yes,
Do you
Vash.
have a this Sunday or like
Tomorrow session we'll finalize. Admin will get back to you on whether we are going to continue tomorrow or we are going to start next week. On that information we'll get from admin.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, right. So thanks, guys. If you don't have any questions, thanks for joining. Happy weekend. See you all soon.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mm.